Hey guys, welcome. I realized I forgot to make a events invite on Facebook for this meeting, so I'm glad you guys had the link from our previous weeks. Let's see, Nick, I think you're up first. I'm good,
Hey.
Pete. I'm just going to share my screen, and you want to share what you're working on?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'm just overthinking it. It's just a simple script that, like, they were like, hey, just structure it off the women's version, and I'm writing
Okay.
the man's version. So just make sure it's like, I mean, I'm still like kind of working on it. Like, you can see the asterisks and stuff, and some stuff's not worded properly. But just make sure it's not pure shit. You read
Okay.
it? I don't think it is, but
Well, first of all, welcome to Copy Accelerator.
appreciate it.
When did you officially join?
I'm on my second month now.
Okay. I guess I just haven't seen you around. Good to see you.
Now I've been hiding from you.
Yeah, I guess so. And so what is it's a 30-day challenge? What is the challenge?
Yeah, it's a 30-day challenge. Can you not see the comments on there? I guess not. Hold on. Let me give you full, because I have like comments that help you like see what section is what and stuff. Hold on.
Okay.
Anyone with this link can comment, I guess. Can you see it now?
Let me reset.
Sheesh. Oh, there we go. Okay.
There we go. Okay. So VSL, I think
It's
I
only
like
going to be
that.
like 4 minutes 30 or something.
Yeah, it's like a sales video at the top of the page.
Super short, yeah.
I would start with this, like, what if I told you I'm going to pay you $500 to lose fat, and then
Okay.
and then go into the, benefit of you'll feel better or whatever. But that's
Right.
like a strong
Right.
starting point. Is there some sort of unique thing about this?
No, not really. It's pretty standard shit.
Okay. It's for guys only?
So there's a women's version and a man's version.
Okay. I would just say before he introduces himself, and after you say that, you'll pay people $500, build muscle and lose fat, just say something about how I want to show you. Basically, you need to come up with a pretend unique mechanism for why this approach works while other stuff doesn't.
Right. I mean, when I introduced the thing, I'm like, I'm going to share my secret formula for how I lost this much weight and built lean muscle in just 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So like, I guess that's it.
Yeah, it just needs to, because everybody, like all of the challenges and all of the programs out there make that same promise, right? So if you can
Right.
find a way to say something like, I found something about the men's metabolism or the men's, there's something unique about how
Right.
men can actually lose fat and build muscle at the same time. Like that's attractive to guys, right? Like
Right.
it's necessarily just weight loss. So if you can find something like that to just add in between before he introduces himself, I think it will make that lead for, a lot stronger. Especially because this is like a shorter video. But you got the rest right, like, introducing himself, telling his story, and then going into, for the first time, I'm going to share the formula. Yeah, if you could just add a section in there that is like basically a lead for this, I think it'll be a lot more. Yeah, exactly. Do something like that.
Okay, cool. And then second question, if you scroll all the way down, I just have like an outline of something that I'm working on. I just wanted to make sure that's not trash either.
Okay.
So it's like a super green supplement. It's all organic too, so that kind of helps with what the angle that I'm going for.
Okay.
And I mean, it's not really that different from everything else, except that it's organic. I'm just coming up with a unique angle. So I just have like the guy who's selling it. We're actually selling it to women, but he has like a good enough story where like he had like crazy ass inflammation and like he couldn't even type on a computer.
Okay.
He had to use voice to text software to dig out of $100,000 worth of debt while having a family to provide for. So my my outline's basically like the emotional story, like kind of start in the middle of the scene of him like feeling that pain,
Okay.
and then talk about how like that was the best thing that ever happened to him because he discovered the solution to cravings, da da da.
Okay.
Speaker introduction, and then like appeal to the audience's desires, which is like they kind of feel like their life is over, kind of, or like they're gonna feel like shit the rest of their life, and like I'm kind of telling them like you don't have to. And then go into like the how-to, truth about cravings, how to reset appetites, the gut health, science behind everything, and then the 7 superfoods that reset your appetite and why you shouldn't just buy these foods because they need to be organic. If they're not organic, they probably have glyphosate, which actually kills your good gut bacteria, and leaving only the harmful bacteria behind.
Yeah. And then introduce the offer. I would just say, if this is going solely for women, if he can somehow, when he does that emotional story about him, because they're not going to relate directly to his experience, right?
Right.
But for women, like the cravings angle is really strong, and one of the big pain points is they feel that their cravings are controlling them. So
right,
it's
that's
like,
what I was talking about. Is like how they almost killed him, and like he knew that it was cravings, but he still couldn't like
get it under control.
break free.
Yeah, exactly. And so for women to relate to that, it would you'd have to really highlight those feelings, right? Of
Right.
control, and like, and this is what's causing the weight gain because they can't get it, can't tame the cravings, whatever. So yeah, that would be my only recommendation. But yeah, the outline is good. I think, Dr. Gundry right now is running one of those BSLs that talks about, it starts off with talking about the foods that you should avoid because it's got those things in it that affects your gut health. Like it's on Facebook. You should check it out because there's some really good content.
You said Gundry?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Peter.
Oh, hey girl.
Hi.
Happy Thursday to you.
Yeah, I saw your friend Zion is speaking at the internet marketing party next week.
Yeah, that probably means I gotta whip up pages for that and get some things ready, but hard life.
Yeah.
So this is something I just wanted to get your take on because Brett and Stefan and Laura are gonna rip it apart at Mimosa Mastermind in Cabo tomorrow.
Okay.
On a panel, and so it's 3 leads. It's a promo for premium athletic greens that has caffeine, and one of the founders is a former Octagon Titan, Frank the Legend Shamrock, which pretty cool project because I grew up watching him on TV. So like interviewing him and stuff was cool. Anyway, so there's 3 leads. If you can just spend 30 seconds looking at the first page or so of each one. The first one, basically, one's his story about like abuse and like overcoming adversity. The second is straight up calling the reader out, and the third one is a female lead about getting her man back, kind of thing. I just dropped the second one in the chat.
Okay, I was gonna say they're on different links.
Yeah, and here's the third one real quick. There we go.
All right. So I wonder if not performing, could you say something like falling apart or breaking down on me or something like that? Because that's the real like pain, right? For guys that are, over 45, that there's that fear of, there's the performance side too, but like that it's breaking down and they can't control it.
Yeah, that's a good point. The whole like my body's revolting against me and I'm becoming
exactly. It's like turning against you. It's no longer in your control because for guys especially, it's like they need to feel that sense of control and confidence that whatever they're doing every day is actually helping them, not hurting them. So there's that fear.
Yeah, I tweaked this lead because I was like Stefan was like, dude, you wrote like 2 pages about like him and without like getting it. Because this story is like super crazy compelling, like, forced to live outside under a tarp and like went to prison and all this crazy shit. But he's
Yeah.
like, it's too much. You got to dial it back to like 3 sentences about abuse and then get into like champion lifestyle. I'm like, all right, fine.
Oh, here, you cut this.
Yeah, I cut it way down to that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, a lot of people that go through abuse, they turn themselves into like these power athletes because they've got all that, like, you know, anger and all that anger inside of them. So like you could just, that's how you could segue that. I let that fuel, like make it a happy, you know, story. I let that fuel my training, and I was determined to like build my body up, you know, so I could be like stronger.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because like it is a pretty harsh transition since I had to cut back on that lead because I had to cut back so much of his story. I was like, it feels
Right.
kind of abrupt, but
Right.
that
And
makes sense.
especially if you did time in prison. Yeah, if you did time in prison too, then like that even is a bigger reason, right? That he decided to work on himself, get stronger, and like basically become like, you know, indestructible. And so that shows like that he was so committed, but then his body started breaking down. So imagine like the horror, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Originally, I had like a whole thing about, oh, you know, you can't be the weakest in prison, and you know,
Yeah, no, that's good.
shit. But Stefan was like, dude, it's too much.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if the story was too long, I can see that it wouldn't fit. But if you can incorporate some of that emotion in there, I think it'd be really powerful.
Yeah, that's a good point. The other ones are more straight.
I like the rest of it. I've never seen a caffeinated greens supplement.
Yeah, it's because it's pretty much the only one that I'm aware of. I mean, I think BioTrust had something for a while, but I think they gave up on it.
Okay. Yeah, I like the harsh truth angle. Could you say something about it's slipping away from you because of the food you're eating every day? What's in the, is it superfoods? I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's like, you know, 66, whatever, kind of the traditional greens angle.
Yeah.
Look at all this shit that we throw in here.
Right. Because the whole thing with that, right, is that you're not getting it from your everyday foods. Like you're not getting those nutrients from your, even the healthiest diet, like in the right, you know, this is like a condensed version of 10 million heads of lettuce and like, you know,
Do you think that's a better, because like this line is pretty blind, or this lead is pretty blind rather, in that like it doesn't say exactly, like in the first 3 or 4 pages, it doesn't say exactly how he's going to help you reclaim your manhood.
Mhm.
So I
I mean,
don't.
can you make the claim that this will help with testosterone, and or is it just the energy angle?
I mean, I could make the claim. Is it going to get slapped down by tier 1 networks? Probably.
Yeah, because I don't know if you'll be able to, like, this is a strong lead if it was a testosterone supplement, but it's going to end up being greens.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't even do a reveal of like what it is at all. It's more just about like reclaiming their morning, taking back control, staving off father time by rewinding the clock, that kind of thing.
I think you're going to need some sort of food incorporation here.
Okay.
There's got to be something related to his food intake, or him, maybe like when he was training, he was cutting out a lot of foods, right? And so he's missing all these power nutrients. So that's where the time will be eventually.
I had a whole thing that Stefan was like, dude, you got to cut, because it was, you know, like, oh, as a fighter, he had to have like, you know, top nutritional intake. And then like in prison, they don't feed you for shit. So he worked in the kitchens to get his nutrition level up because he'll always get more meals that way.
Yeah.
Like one of the, maybe I'll incorporate it a little farther down. I think his problem was just like where I stuck the story.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're going to just bring the nutrition stuff up higher. Any way you can talk about that. That's really good. Like that he was missing the nutrients in foods in prison, because that's a strong like scenario, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would be my recommendation on that one. And then this one.
That's the female only targeting your man needs to be a king thing.
Okay.
Probably won't run it out the gate.
Go buy him some greens. Is that?
Is your man not giving you what you need? Buy him some motherfucking greens. Voiceovers brought to you by Peter.
Yeah, so he's lost his mojo. Here's the solution. I mean, I guess it could work, but yeah, you'd have to have it. You may have to make a really strong case that the greens are linked to his testosterone and drive. I get the energy angle, but I'm just not sure about the testosterone.
Yeah, Stefan was saying, and so did Goff. They're like, why don't you just take a stab at like the Tyson page, even though Frank doesn't have like this, I lost 90 pounds or whatever, like Tyson did.
Mm.
But like the weight loss thing, the beer gut thing is pretty
Yeah,
relatable. But I was like, guys, you can't, it's more like not everybody's like gonna believe that the weight angle and greens go together. It's more like, yo, if you have the energy, then you'll hit the gym and then you'll look kick ass.
true.
If you consistently hit the gym.
Well, I
So
get, yeah, because the caffeine, there's caffeine in this, right? So this is like how to get his energy back, basically.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't know if I went too hard on the sassy yo man kind of angle here, but yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, it reads to me like you're about to sell a testosterone supplement.
No, that's okay. I mean, if they keep reading, then I don't really care.
Yeah.
What they think at first.
Yeah, I guess I have to see like the segue that you make into, well, feed him like 66 superfoods and see what happens.
The man is low on nutrients, girl.
Yeah, he's nutrient deficient, right?
Yeah, cool. All right, well, I'll make some tweaks. Thanks, girl.
Okay, you're
Appreciate it.
welcome. Isaac, good point. Rick, what are you working on this week?
I got an email,
Okay.
3 particular ones, trying to pretty much get them to click an event. And the event is to coach people how to do 5 to 10 wholesale deals per month virtually.
Okay.
I just need to see if I could spruce anything up, make it more thorough, delete something.
Okay, so give me some context on how these people got on the list for this email.
I don't know. I have very minimal information. He gave me 3 emails to write leads similar towards.
Okay.
I could drop them in the link real quick if you like.
Okay.
There's one of them.
Okay.
And there's the other.
Okay. Okay, so he's selling a live event.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so back to yours. Okay, so if he's selling the event, this is sort of, it's a bit too direct, I think, that, basically you're saying at the last event, something amazing happened. You're not going to believe it. One of my students closed a 7K deal within the first hour. Do you see how his like controls have like a stronger, like they start off with like some sort of hook, right? Like that really relates to them, and then he segues into, well, let me show you how. So if you could think of a way to, instead of just focusing on the events as the intro, like basically the event is supposed to be the call to action, right? That's the solution. The solution is come to my event and I'll show you how to do XYZ, right? So you want to lead in with something like, how would it be possible to close a 7K 7K deal in it. Imagine if you could close a 7K deal in an hour, you know. There's a way to do this, but you have to know like the secret formula or whatever. And I've helped students do this for years or whatever it is. And now I could possibly do the same for you, blah, blah, blah. You know, come to my event and I'll show you how. Do you see the difference? So basically you want to tease it a bit more. Like you don't want to give away that, hey, at my last event, we did this. You should probably come to this one. Because I've had feeling the way that these examples that you sent me are set up, these people aren't expecting to get like a promotional email about the event. They need some content first.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, otherwise the rest is the same. The rest is fine.
Alrighty, cool. I got three more after that.
Yeah, this one's a lot better because I see you've like followed this one. Do any of these sound
Yeah.
familiar? Yeah. I would just add a little bit between these two lines before you go into the, so let me show you how. Just beef this up a bit because I'm here to tell you none of that matters, nor is it even true. The reality is basically answer some of these. So it'd be like, it's very easy to find legit deals when you know XYZ. The market isn't as competitive as most people think. You don't need to be doing 10 million things to get your first deal, like just because these are like objections, right? So if you could just answer some of the objections in a few lines here and then say, so let me show you, get them excited, right? Like, really, that's possible. And then, okay, let me show you how to do it, you know, at this event or whatever.
Okay. Sweet.
And then how am I doing this one? Nice. This is a much stronger like intro for this.
Shout out Miss Carolyn. She gave me the idea for the crypto.
Did she? Yeah, no, this is solid. This is how you need to think of it. Think of these as like mini leads for a sales page, right? So you got to lead them in with some sort of intriguing fact, story, compelling statement, whatever it is. And then obviously in an email, it's a lot shorter, but you got to hit them with that first. Otherwise, they're not going to pay attention to the rest.
Okay, sweet. And the fourth one I threw in there, so I saw Kyle Milligan had a style like this once before, and I was just like, why not try it out? They're going to all be tested.
Yeah, you could do this one. I would, yeah, and it's good to put it at the end of the sequence, right? Because basically they're going to see that if they haven't, you take them out of the sequence if they register, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I would put something more direct right at the end, which is fine.
Cool, awesome. I appreciate you so much for all the notes. I'm gonna get right on that.
Okay, yeah, I hope that was helpful.
Yes, most definitely. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Good, you're welcome. Let's see. Peter, I got you. I think Mary. Oh, looks like,
Oh, is it not? Is that mine?
yeah. Oh, sorry, I asked from the wrong email address. I'm logged into my VShred account. Can you just make it open access?
Yes. Okay, that should do it.
Sweet, okay.
So I'm not quite done here, but I'm done with the first one. This is part of a quiz funnel, and they got their answer. You know, they know which of the 5 types they are because they've taken the quiz.
Mhm.
Then they're given the opportunity to schedule a strategy call, like for the next steps and how to plan around that result.
Okay.
They're getting people stuck where they get their result and they're not booking the strategy call. So I'm trying to rewrite these. The old ones were basically like, hey, you started the process to book your appointment, but you didn't finish it. So I'm trying to make it a little more exciting and a little more, this call is so valuable, don't miss out on it.
Right.
So I just have the first one done. The one below is the old one. So is this a reminder to old one? So it's nothing to even compare.
Okay.
So just the first one, if it, you know, any kind of feedback you have, I changed the subject line to kind of do
Mhm.
that, you know, a little bit of shock, like, wait, what am I approved for? And any kind of feedback you have.
Yeah. Instead of saying, we think you're the perfect fit, I would just say something like, because you already say great news, you're approved. We're saving your spot for a one-on-one strategy for the next, I don't know, like 2 days or something like that. Like give them that sense of you'll give it to someone else, right? If they don't
Love
click it.
Yeah.
Do they get any sort of blueprint or something like that? Yeah, a roadmap, right?
Yeah, roadmap. Mhm.
So instead of like, this is kind of like a detractor almost. I know it's clear that you're being honest and like, you know, make sure you set aside 50 minutes, but most people are going to read that and be like, I don't have time. That's probably why they didn't book in the first place, right? That just, it's not like top of mind.
Yeah.
So I would highlight the fact that we want to hand you, like, you want to make it sound like a no-brainer. That they've got to feel like they've got to get on this call. Like it's a no-brainer and they really need this, right? So
Yeah.
if you can like find a way to describe that we're literally going to create the roadmap for you and just hand it to you on this call. You know, make it sound really easy. And then, I mean, maybe I would put in the PS, make sure you set aside 50 minutes, but honestly, I would just take it out. Like I wouldn't even mention it. Like let them realize that it's going to be long when, you know, when they're already on the call. Like you don't want to highlight that.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this point, you've just got to tease the call like crazy because they've already kind of said no thanks. And now you have to convince them, you know, persuade them that we literally have this roadmap ready for you. One of our specialists is standing by. You know, here's your chance to clear the 5 wealth blockages. And even, I mean, you talk about resolving the blockages, but what does that mean? Like you could say that this is sort of like your shortcut to, you know, faster wealth or, you know, rapid success with your business or whatever the outcome is supposed to be that they would get from this, you know, highlight those things. Like you've got to paint them a picture of what's in it for me, you know, like right away. Like they've got to feel that getting on this call is going to help them get XYZ, and clearing the blockages is a good benefit, but it's not necessarily something that's like really on top of their mind, right? Because what happens when they clear their blockages, it means it gives them a clear path, clarity on what to do next with their business, right?
Yeah.
What are the other benefits? Like think of like the other benefits that they would have or outcomes they would have.
So the couple bullet points I have here, do you think those are powerful enough and they just need moved up, or you think I haven't made the
I
I
would,
made
I
it
would,
exciting?
yeah, I would talk more about like potential outcomes they could have if they cleared their blockages. So like, you know, that they would have a more profitable business. They could probably run their business hands free. They would have more time, you know, more personal time back. Like talk about the actual things, because those are the problems they're actually trying to solve.
Mhm.
And if you can promise that we're going to show you how, and we'll give you the roadmap that helps you get that, just get on this call and we'll hand it to you, is sort of like the takeaway.
I love that. Okay. That's great feedback.
Yeah, you've got I mean, the format is good and everything, but I really think if they've already said no thanks or were hesitant to book the call after they took the quiz, then you need a really you need a compelling reason for them to go ahead and book now.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I think that's everybody. If I missed you, please drop a link. Otherwise, we will close this out.
And this call gets uploaded in the members area, right?
It does. Yep.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, I will see you guys next week then. Thank you. All right, Carolyn, thanks for coming. Thank you guys.